I wanted to tell you guys a little bit of a story. I I bought the new well, it's not new. It came out last year. This game from Square Enix. It's called Harvestella. It's kind of like basically imagine something like Rune Factory. It is a really beautiful game, and it's officially May 1st. My mom's birthday is in May, and well, E3 is not going to happen this year, but I'm sure Nintendo will do something really cool with their Nintendo Direct. And we're literally like 12 days away from Tears of the Kingdom. And I was thinking to myself, I've not been feeling well, so I've not been doing a lot of videos since my Uncle JD video. And I was thinking about how there was a time when I wasn't a Zelda fan. And growing up, I wasn't a Legend of Zelda fan. It was just a really good game I played. And then, like most things for people, at some point, it switched. And I don't know when it switched. I don't know when it became from something that just a fun game that I played, or a fun few games, to something just absolutely magical. But at some point, probably in between, if I had to guess, I'd say in between Ocarina of Time and maybe Skyward Sword, something changed. Because when I was growing up and I played the original Zelda, I'm going to tell you guys a story. So I told you guys in one of my earlier videos that I got my NES it was about 1986. So I was about 10 years old when my family first got an NES. And I don't know if we even owned the original Legend of Zelda. But that game was such a pain in the ass to beat back in those days. I mean, there's a few games that I really remember playing in those days, and that was before I had money that I could just spend on these games. And as a kid, you get your games on your birthday, or you get your games on Christmas, or occasional you might get a cool game as a present or something. But you don't just have all this money you can spend on games. It's not like it is when you become an adult. And even when you become an adult, there's not enough time to play all these games. Like, I have such an insane amount of games. I have almost 400 games for Switch, though most of them are digital. I have 5 for PlayStation 5, and then close to 100 on my 5, and then I have another almost 300 for Xbox. And I just don't have time to play all these games. So I have money to spend on these games, but not enough time to play them. But I remember being a kid, I remember playing Legend of Zelda and really just struggling. Especially one of my greatest memories is when I first beat Ganon. And back in those days, there was Nintendo Power, there was Friends, and there was 1-900 numbers. Which, obviously most kids, parents didn't, not like you could just, say, hey mom, let me dial this 1-900 number and, rack up a $100 phone bill so I could get help with this game. Mom or dad would have said, hell no. But I had The Legend of Zelda, or I played it at least, but I don't know if I ever owned it. But I did finish it. And then when Zelda 2 came out, I played it a little here and there, and I would just never really liked that game. Like, I'm actually playing through it on Switch right now, and parts of it are good, and I wouldn't say it's a bad game, but I hate the leveling up. I have honestly spent probably more time just grinding than I have in some Final Fantasy games. It's just ridiculous. The amount of, fighting these guys and getting 2 experience at a time. And it's just such just a pain in the ass process. And I never finished Legend of Zelda 2. And I had a Game Boy, but I didn't have Link's Awakening. So the next game I got was Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. And see, the thing is, when it came out, I rented it. I didn't even buy it. I remember renting it, and I remember there being this booklet. And this booklet, if you flip to the back of the pages, and God, I used to have the game itself, but I don't have it anymore. It would just, would tell you the main things that people get stuck on. And this was before FAQs. This was before Game Facts. This is before you could just go online, because there was no online where you could just go find this stuff. And I hate to say it, I fucking cheated. I cheated, and I got, and so I beat the game, but I cheated to beat it. So, and then it was probably Ocarina of Time. 1998, I just moved from Missouri back to Texas, and I had a Nintendo 64. I didn't get one when it first came out, but I didn't get my 64 till 98. And then that fall, I believe, Ocarina of Time came out. And that might have been the moment that I absolutely just fell in love with the Zelda series. But even then, I wasn't really a fan. Like, I loved Ocarina of Time. I loved the original game, and I always will. But I wasn't like, oh yeah, I love the Zelda series. Like, I loved Super Mario Brothers back then, or I loved Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. I mean, what's funny is, as I grow and change, and have changed from the 20s to the 30s to the 40s, the games that are in my top 20, the franchises that I love the most, it constantly changes. I remember one year it was the Uncharted series was in my top 10. And, Metal Gear has always pretty much been consistently in my top 10. It just depends on what I'm playing. Final Fantasy is another series that I've always gravitated to. And I've always played the games, and I've always enjoyed them. And I finished not even close to half the games in the Final Fantasy series. But Zelda, for a long time, I just wasn't a fan. I played some of the games, and the games that I played, I loved. I freaking loved Ocarina of Time. I played that game so much, and even though I didn't do everything, I didn't do the Golden Skulltulas. There was maybe a few other things that I wasn't able to accomplish, but I did a bunch of other stuff. I did beat that game, and I don't even think I beat it more than once. I just had so many games that I was playing at the time that I didn't get around to finishing it more than, I think I might have beat it twice total my whole life. So I think really when I started listening to the Zelda music, because I've been to the Zelda Symphony 3 times. It's called the Symphony of the Goddesses. And I've got some shirts from that symphony. And I think it was around this time that I really just realized, holy shit, this is not just a game to me. This is something that I'm truly passionate about. I mean, I don't know if I have it on me, but I mean, my wallet, Zelda, backpack everywhere I carry, Zelda. You see the Hyrule symbol. I mean, my shirt's not Zelda, but I've got 10 or so Zelda shirts. I've got, whenever I can come across Zelda merchandise, I've even got a fucking Zelda Uno game. Do I have the biggest Zelda collection of stuff in the world? No, I don't. But what's interesting is, it's just funny because, like I said, there was a time when I was growing up when Zelda was just a game. It didn't it didn't have this legacy. It wasn't this freaking 25, 30-year-old franchise that it's grown so much from those moments when I first started playing Zelda on the NES back in 1986. And it's just grown into something that is so beautiful and so amazing and so just absolutely outstanding. Where, I'm surprised there's literally not religions popping up about Zelda. It's just become such a magical thing, but it didn't always used to be that way. And like I said, for me, there was a time when Zelda was just a game. And now it's like I'm a huge fan of the series. I love the games. Every single game has something amazing to offer. I'm a little embarrassed to say that I had Breath of the Wild, that was the first game I got with my Switch. When it first dropped, I got it the day it came out. And I've had several Switches since then, and I've had Zelda pretty much, but not that same copy. But I've had a couple of copies of Zelda, and I have not finished it. So I'm actually working on finishing it for the first time. I actually beat Skyward Sword HD for the first time earlier this year. And there's still a bunch of Zelda games I have not even finished. There's a few I haven't even played. But this is definitely, it's so much more than just the games. It's the amazing music. It is the lore. It's the creatures. It's all of the great games. It's the art direction. It's how each game is just its own magnificent beast. And it's just crazy because when I try to think about a moment in time, like if I were to imagine my life being this line right here, and at some point there's a circle in the line that encapsulate the moment in time when I actually truly became a Zelda fan. And I don't know when that is. And I guess that's the way with a lot of games and with life itself. There's a lot of people in my life that I didn't plan on being friends with. It just happened. Love is that way. You meet someone, you're talking, next thing you know, you start seeing them regularly, you start dating them, and then one day out of the blue, you realize, holy shit, I fucking love this person. You didn't plan on it, you didn't think it would happen. It's just crazy. When I broke up with my ex of 9 or 10 years, I met her in 2011, and we broke up in 2019, so about 9 years. I thought that I would never find anyone, but not only that, I didn't even think I was capable of loving anyone again. And it's crazy. Life is crazy when you think about it, because that's how so many amazing things in life are. It's just something that happens. You don't think about it. So, the moment when I truly became a Zelda fan, I don't know. Was it when I was playing Ocarina of Time and, when I was going through the Forest Temple for the first time and listening to that trippy ass music? Was it when I was playing Wind Waker and just was having an absolute blast in the ocean and just realizing I had the freedom to go wherever I wanted? I don't know, man. I honestly do not know. But I can say I'm super looking forward to Tears of the Kingdom. I have been looking forward to that game ever since I saw it. Um, its announcement trailer, and I know that what is gonna come when that game drops is just gonna be beyond expectations. It's gonna like SNK shatter all expectations, and this is truly gonna be a monumentous moment, and it's gonna be something special. And the thing is that life is pretty short, and that's why we just need to enjoy. Whatever you enjoy, there is no harm in just, whether it be a person, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a game. Don't let anyone steal your joy. If there's something that you love, embrace it to its fullest. Because the thing is, you never know when it could be gone. Never know when you could be gone. So this is kind of some late night thoughts. And it's not even so much about the wonders of a game, the greatness of a franchise. It's about the beauty of life and how we just need to admire and respect and love when something wonderful gets put into our life. Whether it's a person, a movie, a band, a new place to visit, or something as simple as a game. Have a wonderful night.